The invasion begins. The skies over New York City darkened as the massive alien ships descended. Their sleek obsidian hulls reflected the panicked crowds below like funhouse mirrors. Air raid sirens wailed, a sound most New Yorkers had only heard in old war movies. Now that haunting cry signaled humanity's darkest hour. Dr. Samantha Chen stood frozen on the roof of Genentech Laboratories, her eyes fixed on the otherworldly Armada. Years of secret government projects, enhancing animals for military applications, suddenly seemed trivial in the face of such overwhelming force. A warm, furry head pressed against her leg, snapping her from her daze. "Ajax," she whispered, scratching behind the ears of the massive German shepherd at her side. The dog's eyes, unnaturally intelligent, met hers. A series of barks and growls emerged from his throat, forming crude but understandable words. "Danger. Must go." Samantha nodded, her shock giving way to determination. "You're right, boy. We need to get to the secure levels and release the others." As they raced down the stairwell, the first explosions rocked the city. Alien energy weapons lanced down from the ships, vaporizing buildings and vehicles alike. The screams of the dying were drowned out by the thunderous impacts and the whine of strange engines as smaller craft deployed from the capital ships. In the depths of Genentech's most secure facility, Samantha and Ajax found chaos. Scientists and security personnel scrambled to either destroy sensitive data or evacuate. Dr. Chen pushed her way through the panicked crowd, Ajax clearing a path with low growls. "We need to release the enhanced animals," she shouted over the din. "They might be our only chance." Security Chief Marcus Rivera appeared, his face grim. "Are you insane, Chen? Those are experimental subjects, not weapons." Ajax's hackles raised, a deep growl rumbling in his chest. Rivera took an involuntary step back. "They're more than that," Samantha insisted. "They're intelligent, loyal, and right now, they might be Earth's best hope. We can't just leave them here to die." A violent tremor shook the facility, dust raining from the ceiling. Rivera's resolve crumbled. "Fine. Do it. But if those things turn on us, it's on you." Samantha raced to the control panel, entering the emergency release codes. Throughout the facility, reinforced doors slid open. From the darkness emerged a menagerie of enhanced creatures, bears with cybernetic limbs, cats with eyes that glowed with unnatural intelligence, primates whose DNA had been spliced with the best human traits. As the animals gathered around Samantha and Ajax, a bone-rattling roar echoed through the complex. The crowd parted as Titan, a massive gorilla with gleaming silver implants along his spine, lumbered forward. His eyes, filled with human-like comprehension, locked onto Samantha. "What's happening?" The gorilla's voice was deep and halting, but clear. "We're under attack, Titan. The whole world is. We need your help, all of your help, to survive this." The enhanced animals exchanged looks, a silent communication passing between them. Then, as one, they turned back to Samantha and nodded. Above ground, the alien invasion was in full swing. Eerily beautiful beings with iridescent skin and multiple arms emerged from landing craft, wielding weapons that seemed to bend light itself. They moved with inhuman grace, corralling terrified humans with ease. The alien commander, Zixlath, observed the conquest with cold satisfaction. These primitive beings would make excellent slaves for the galactic hegemony. Their planet's resources would fuel the next wave of expansion. It was almost too easy. A commotion near one of the processing centers caught Zixlath's attention. A group of humans was fighting back, led by a woman, and were those animals. The commander zoomed in with his ocular implants, fascination overtaking his usual detachment. The animals moved with purpose, coordinating their attacks with the humans. A massive ursine creature with metal-plated limbs tore through an energy barrier like it was tissue paper. Felines darted between the invaders' legs, causing confusion and chaos. And at the center of it all, a canine and a primate fought back to back, downing alien soldiers with shocking efficiency. For the first time in centuries, Zixlath felt a twinge of uncertainty. This was not in any of their pre-invasion intelligence. The humans were supposed to be simple, barely out of their Stone Age by hegemony standards. Yet here they were, alongside beasts of terrifying augmented power, mounting a resistance that was quickly becoming more than a nuisance. All units, Zixlath's voice rang out across the alien communication networks. Be advised. The human resistance includes synthetically enhanced indigenous creatures. Approach with extreme caution and report all encounters immediately. On the ground, Samantha and her team of scientists fought alongside their enhanced animal companions. Ajax coordinated the defense, his military training shining through as he directed the other animals with barks and growls. Titan provided raw power, smashing alien technology and throwing invaders like ragdolls. As they battled their way through the streets of New York, more humans joined their ranks. The sight of animals fighting back against the aliens inspired hope in the populace. Word began to spread through whatever communication channels remained intact. Humanity had a secret weapon. But the aliens were far from defeated. As the initial shock of the animal resistance wore off, they began to adapt their tactics. Electromagnetic pulses were deployed, shorting out cybernetic implants. Sonic weapons caused enhanced animals to writhe in pain, their augmented senses overwhelmed. Samantha watched in horror as Titan fell to his knees, silver blood leaking from his ears. Ajax limped, one of his cybernetic legs sparking and useless. The other animals were in similar states of distress. Fall back, she yelled, helping Titan to his feet. We need to regroup and figure out how to counter their tech. As they retreated into the subway tunnels, Samantha's mind raced. The initial success of the enhanced animals had bought them time, but it wouldn't be enough. They needed a way to protect the animals from the alien countermeasures. More than that, they needed to find a way to take the fight to the invaders. In the dank darkness of the subway, surrounded by injured animals and shell-shocked humans, Dr. Samantha Chen made a vow. She would find a way to overcome this threat. Humanity and their loyal animal companions would not go quietly into the night. The real battle was just beginning. As the sounds of alien patrols echoed from the streets above, Samantha huddled with Ajax, Titan, and the other scientists. We've seen what they can do, she whispered. Now it's time to show them what we're truly capable of. The animals, despite their injuries, growled in agreement. The humans nodded, determination replacing fear in their eyes. The invaders had made a crucial mistake. They had underestimated the tenacity of Earth's defenders, and that mistake would cost them dearly. Resistance rising. The abandoned subway tunnel echoed with the sounds of tinkering and low conversations. It had been 3 weeks since the initial invasion, and Dr. Samantha Chen's makeshift resistance base was a hive of activity. Scientists huddled over jury-rigged equipment, working tirelessly to upgrade their animal companions' defenses against alien weaponry. Ajax, his cybernetic leg now repaired, paced the length of the tunnel. His enhanced senses picked up the faintest vibrations from the surface. Alien patrols, human prisoners being marched to labor camps, the constant hum of enemy ships. The German shepherd's eyes narrowed, a low growl escaping his throat. What is it, boy? Samantha asked, looking up from her workbench. More ships, Ajax replied, his vocabulary improving daily. They're bringing reinforcements. Samantha's heart sank. They were already outnumbered and outgunned. More alien forces would make their task even more daunting. She turned to Titan, who was assisting with heavy lifting. His silver implants now shielded against electromagnetic pulses. Titan, gather the team. We need to plan our next move. As the enhanced animals and human resistance fighters assembled, a new face pushed through the crowd. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a robotics expert who had joined their group a week ago, carried a device that looked like a cross between a collar and a small computer. I think I've got it, Yuki said, her eyes bright with excitement despite the dark circles underneath them. a neural dampener that should protect our companions from the alien sonic weapons. A chorus of hopeful murmurs rippled through the gathering. Samantha took the device, examining it closely. "Yuki, this is brilliant, but we'll need to test it." "I volunteer," came a voice from the back. The crowd parted to reveal Whiskers, an enhanced Maine Coon cat with eyes that glowed in eerie green. The feline's size and agility had proved invaluable in their guerrilla attacks against the aliens. As Yuki fitted the neural dampener around Whisker's neck, Samantha addressed the group. "Even with this new protection, we can't take on the entire invasion force. We need to be smart, strategic." Marcus Rivera, the former security chief who had become one of their key tactical planners, stepped forward. "I've been monitoring their communications. There's a central processing facility in Central Park. They're using it to analyze Earth's resources and coordinate their harvesting operations. If we could take that out," Titan rumbled, his deep voice thoughtful, "it would cripple their logistics." Samantha nodded. "Exactly. But we'll need a distraction to draw away their main forces." Ajax's ears perked up. "The docks. Their ships land there to offload troops and supplies. If we hit that, they'll have to respond in force." A plan began to take shape. They would split into two teams, one to create chaos at the docks, led by Titan and Marcus, while a smaller, stealthier group would infiltrate the Central Park facility. Ajax, Whiskers, and Samantha would lead the infiltration team. As they finalized the details, a young resistance fighter named Zoe spoke up. "But what about the civilians? The aliens have rounded up thousands into labor camps." Samantha's expression hardened. "You're right, Zoe. We can't forget them. Once we've disrupted the aliens' operations, freeing those camps will be our top priority." The next day, as dusk fell over the occupied city, the resistance put their plan into action. Titan's team moved through the shadows towards the docks, a mix of enhanced animals and human fighters armed with a combination of stolen alien tech and jury-rigged weapons. As they approached, they saw the massive alien ships hovering above the water, tendrils of energy siphoning resources directly from the ocean. Alien guards patrolled the area, their iridescent skin shimmering in the fading light. "Now," Titan growled. Enhanced bears charged forward, their cybernetic limbs allowing them to plow through the alien defenses. Primates with heightened agility swung from cranes and containers, dropping makeshift explosives on key targets. Human resistance fighters provided covering fire, their weapons modified by Dr. Tanaka to penetrate alien energy shields. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Alien dropships descended from the larger vessels, disgorging waves of troops. Energy weapons lit up the night sky, turning the docks into a war zone. Meanwhile, across the city, Samantha's team used the distraction to approach Central Park. The once beautiful green space had been transformed into a nightmarish alien complex, with strange organic structures pulsing with otherworldly energy. "Remember," Samantha whispered to her team, "our goal is the central processor. We plant the virus, then get out. No unnecessary risks." Ajax nodded, his enhanced senses on high alert. Whiskers, wearing the neural dampener, slunk forward to scout ahead. The cat's eyes glowed as it used its augmented vision to spot gaps in the alien patrols. They moved silently through the park, using the overgrown vegetation as cover. As they neared the central facility, an alien sentry appeared suddenly around a corner. Before it could raise an alarm, Whiskers pounced, its enhanced strength allowing it to tackle the much larger alien. Ajax finished it off with a quick, powerful bite to a vulnerable spot they had identified in previous encounters. Samantha's heart raced as they entered the alien structure. The interior was a maze of pulsing, organic technology that seemed to breathe and shift. They navigated through twisting corridors, guided by Ajax's keen sense of direction. Finally, they reached the central chamber. A massive, brain-like organ dominated the room, tendrils of energy connecting it to various consoles and displays. Alien technicians worked at the stations, their multiple arms moving in a blur of activity. There, Samantha pointed to a node that seemed to be a primary input terminal. "We need to get the virus into that system." Ajax growled softly. "Too many. Need distraction." Whisker's tail twitched. "Leave it to me," the cat purred. Before Samantha could protest, Whiskers darted into the room. The cat leaped onto consoles, knocked over equipment, and generally caused as much chaos as possible. The alien technicians, caught off guard by the small but surprisingly strong intruder, scrambled to respond. In the confusion, Samantha and Ajax slipped to the primary node. With shaking hands, Samantha inserted the data drive containing the virus, a culmination of human ingenuity and reverse-engineered alien tech. The node pulsed, accepting the input. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, alarms began to blare. The organic walls of the structure trembled. Displays flickered and died. "It's working," Samantha exclaimed. "Let's get out of here." They retreated the way they came, Whiskers rejoining them as they fled. Behind them, the alien facility began to collapse in on itself, its biological components withering without the guidance of the central processor. As they emerged from the park, they saw the effects rippling across the city. Alien ships lost power, some crashing into the East River. The invaders' coordinated efforts dissolved into chaos. Back at the docks, Titan's team saw the aliens suddenly fall into disarray. Taking advantage of the confusion, they pressed their attack, driving the invaders back and securing a significant cache of alien weaponry. As dawn broke over New York, the resistance celebrated their first major victory. But Samantha knew this was just the beginning. They had bloodied the aliens' nose, but the full might of the invasion force was yet to be felt. Looking out over the damaged but defiant city, Samantha scratched Ajax behind the ears. "We've shown them what we can do, boy. Now we need to take this fight global." Ajax's tail wagged as he gazed up at her. "Together," he barked, "humans and animals. We protect home." Samantha nodded, a fierce determination in her eyes. The aliens had come expecting an easy conquest. Instead, they had awakened a force beyond their understanding. The combined might of humanity and their loyal, enhanced animal companions. The real war was just beginning. Turning the tide. The global resistance network crackled with activity. In the months following the New York victory, similar uprisings had erupted worldwide. From the savannas of Africa to the streets of Tokyo, enhanced animals fought alongside their human companions, slowly pushing back against the alien occupation. Dr. Samantha Chen stood before a holographic map in their expanded underground base, Ajax at her side. Red dots indicated alien strongholds, while blue showed liberated areas. The map was a patchwork, but the blue was steadily growing. "The London team has successfully disabled the weather control device," reported Dr. Yuki Tanaka, her fingers flying over a tablet. "Paris is requesting additional neural dampeners for their enhanced avian units." Samantha nodded, making mental notes. And the transmission from Rio. Marcus Rivera, now their chief of global operations, stepped forward. "It's as we suspected. The aliens are constructing some kind of massive device in the Amazon. Our enhanced Jaguar scouts couldn't get close enough for details, but it's big." A worried murmur passed through the assembled resistance leaders. Titan, who had become a sort of spokesperson for the enhanced animals, spoke up. "Could be weapon, or communication array. Either way, not good." "Agreed," Samantha said. "We need to find out what it is and shut it down. But we can't leave our other fronts vulnerable." She turned to Ajax. "What do you think, boy?" The German shepherd's eyes narrowed in concentration. "Split forces," he barked. "Keep pressure on aliens. Small team to Amazon. Stealth mission." Samantha smiled. Ajax's tactical acumen had grown exponentially, matching his enhanced physical abilities. "Excellent idea. Yuki, can you have a stealth suit ready for Whiskers? His climbing abilities will be crucial in the jungle." As the meeting dispersed and preparations began, Samantha felt a tug on her sleeve. She looked down to see Zoe, the young resistance fighter who had become something of a protege. "Dr. Chen," Zoe said, her eyes bright with excitement, "I've been working on something. A way to communicate with the enhanced animals over long distances without relying on tech the aliens can intercept." Intrigued, Samantha followed Zoe to her workstation. The young woman pulled out what looked like a small organic implant. "It's based on the neural pathways we've mapped in Ajax and the others. If we can implant these in our human operatives, they'll be able to share a limited telepathic bond with their animal partners." Samantha's eyes widened. "Zoe, this is incredible, but also risky. We don't know the long-term effects of such a bond." "I'll do it," came a voice from behind them. They turned to see Marcus, a determined look on his face. "If it gives us an edge against the aliens, I'm willing to take the risk." Within days, Marcus was successfully bonded with Titan. The ability to communicate silently and instantaneously proved invaluable in coordinating their global efforts. More volunteers stepped forward, strengthening the bond between human and animal resistance fighters. As preparations for the Amazon mission neared completion, an urgent transmission came in from their allies in Moscow. "The aliens are retreating from the city," reported a breathless resistance fighter. "But they're taking thousands of civilians with them. We think they're being transported to some kind of off-world facility." Samantha's blood ran cold. They had liberated numerous labor camps, but the idea of humans being taken off-planet was terrifying. She made a quick decision. "Yuki, you'll lead the Amazon team. Take Whiskers and a small group of our best. Find out what that device is and disable it if possible." She turned to Marcus and Titan. "You two will coordinate our global forces. Keep the pressure on. Don't let them regroup." "What about you?" Yuki asked. Samantha scratched Ajax behind the ears, a gesture that had become the signal between them. "Ajax and I are going to find out where they're taking those people, and we're going to bring them back." The next week was a whirlwind of activity. Yuki's team departed for the Amazon, using enhanced jaguars and monkeys to navigate the dense jungle undetected. They reported steady progress, but radio silence was necessary as they neared the alien construction. Meanwhile, Samantha and Ajax worked with their global network to track the movement of alien ships. Pattern recognition software, combined with Ajax's enhanced intuition, led them to a startling discovery. "They're not leaving Earth's orbit," Samantha announced to the Resistance leadership. "There's some kind of station or ship hidden on the dark side of the moon. That's where they're taking the prisoners." The implications were staggering. A base so close could explain how the aliens had staged their invasion so quickly. It also presented both a threat and an opportunity. "If we could infiltrate that base," Marcus mused, the telepathic bond with Titan allowing the gorilla to follow his train of thought, "we could potentially free the prisoners and cripple their entire operation." "But how?" Zoe asked. "We don't have spacecraft capable of reaching the moon, let alone breaching alien defenses." A slow smile spread across Samantha's face. "No, but they do. We've been so focused on defending Earth that we haven't considered taking the fight to them. It's time to steal ourselves a spaceship." The plan was audacious, bordering on insane. Using intel gathered from their global network, they identified a damaged alien ship undergoing repairs in the Sahara. While the bulk of their forces launched a series of coordinated attacks to distract the aliens, a small team would infiltrate the ship and take control. As they made final preparations, Samantha knelt beside Ajax. "This is going to be our toughest mission yet, boy. Are you sure you're up for it?" Ajax's eyes met hers, filled with unwavering loyalty and determination. "Wherever you go, I go. We face danger together." The assault on the alien shipyard was chaos incarnate. Enhanced elephants, rhinos, and big cats tore through the perimeter defenses, while human fighters wielded reverse-engineered alien weapons. From the sky, augmented eagles and falcons provided air support, their enhanced vision allowing for precision strikes. In the midst of the battle, Samantha, Ajax, and a small team of humans and animals slipped aboard the damaged ship. They encountered fierce resistance, but the neural link between human and animal allowed for unprecedented coordination. As they fought their way to the bridge, Samantha marveled at how far they'd come. Humans and animals, working in perfect harmony, were accomplishing what neither could have done alone. Finally, they reached the ship's control center. As Ajax and the other enhanced animals held off the alien crew, Samantha and Zoe worked feverishly to decipher the ship's systems. "I think I've got it," Zoe exclaimed, her fingers flying over the alien console. The ship hummed to life, its systems responding to her commands. As they lifted off, leaving the chaos of the battle behind, Samantha allowed herself a moment of hope. They were taking the fight to the enemy, venturing into the unknowns of space to rescue their people. Ajax padded to her side, resting his head on her lap. Samantha scratched his ears, a gesture of comfort for both of them. "Ready for a little space adventure, boy?" The German shepherd's tail wagged. "Ready. For Earth. For home." As the stolen ship accelerated towards the moon, Samantha's thoughts turned to Yuki's team in the Amazon and their allies fighting across the globe. So much hinged on the success of their respective missions. The fate of humanity, of Earth itself, hung in the balance. But looking around at her team, humans and enhanced animals united in purpose, Samantha felt a surge of confidence. Whatever challenges awaited them on that alien moon base, they would face them together. The aliens had made a grave mistake in underestimating Earth's defenders. It was time to show them the true strength of humanity and its loyal animal companions. The final battle. The stolen alien ship shuddered as it approached the dark side of the moon. Through the view screen, Samantha and her team saw the massive structure come into view, a sprawling complex of interconnected domes and spires that seemed to grow out of the lunar surface itself. "By all that's holy," Zoe whispered, her eyes wide. "It's like a city." Ajax growled low in his throat, hackles raised. "Many humans there. Can smell fear." Samantha laid a comforting hand on the German shepherd's head. "We'll get them out, boy. All of them." She turned to the rest of the team. "Remember the plan. We dock as if we're a returning transport. Zoe and I will try to access their systems and locate the prisoners. The rest of you, be ready for anything." As they neared the base, a transmission crackled through their comms. Alien language, harsh and guttural, demanded identification. Zoe's fingers flew over the console, sending the forged credentials they'd prepared. Seconds stretched into eternity as they waited for a response. Finally, a docking bay opened in the side of the structure. They were in. The moment they touched down, all hell broke loose. Alarms blared, and squadrons of alien soldiers poured into the hangar. It seemed their ruse had been discovered. "So much for stealth," Samantha muttered. "New plan. Fight our way to the control center." What followed was a running battle through the twisting corridors of the moon base. The enhanced animals proved their worth 100 times over. A cybernetically augmented grizzly bear named Kodiak plowed through alien defenses like they were made of paper. Whiskers, the enhanced Maine Coon, used his agility and climbing skills to outmaneuver the enemy in the base's vertical shafts. Ajax stayed close to Samantha, his enhanced senses alerting them to danger before it arrived. Together, they fought as one, human and canine in perfect sync. As they neared what they believed to be the control center, a massive blast door sealed shut before them. "We don't have time for this," Samantha growled. She turned to Kodiak. "Think you can open it for us?" The bear's cybernetic eye glowed as it assessed the door. With a roar that shook the walls, Kodiak charged. The reinforced metal crumpled under the impact, and the team surged through. Inside, they found not just a control room, but a vast chamber filled with stasis pods, thousands of them, each containing a human in suspended animation. "Oh God," Zoe gasped. "This isn't just a prison. It's a harvesting facility." Before they could process this horror, a hologram flickered to life in the center of the room. The alien commander, Zixlath, sneered at them. Clever humans, the alien's voice grated through a translation device. You've come further than we expected, but it changes nothing. Your planet's resources, your people's genetic material, all of it belongs to the hegemony now. Samantha stepped forward, Ajax at her side. You're wrong. We've pushed you back on Earth. Your invasion is failing. Zixlaff laughed, a sound like breaking glass. Earth. You think this was about one insignificant planet. This is about the survival of our species. Your world is but the first of many we will consume. As the alien monologued, Zoe had been working furiously at a nearby console. She caught Samantha's eye and gave a subtle nod. They had control of the base's systems. Samantha allowed herself a grim smile. You made two mistakes, Zixlaff. First, you underestimated humanity's will to survive. She gestured to the enhanced animals around her. And second, you forgot that on Earth, we don't fight alone. With a command from Zoe, the stasis pods began to open. Disoriented but alive, the human prisoners stumbled out. At the same time, Ajax let out a howl that reverberated through the base. It was a signal, carried through the neural network that linked their team. All across the moon base, hidden resistance fighters, both human and animal, sprang into action. They had smuggled themselves in amongst the prisoners over months, playing a long game that was now paying off. Zixlaff's hologram flickered as the alien commander realized the depth of the deception. No, this is impossible. Oh, it's very possible, Samantha replied. And it's just the beginning. Just then, her comm unit crackled to life. It was Yuki, calling from Earth. Samantha, can you hear me? We've done it. The device in the Amazon. It wasn't a weapon. It was a terraforming engine. We've reprogrammed it. It's restoring the rainforest, purifying the air and water. The whole planet is healing. A cheer went up from the assembled humans and animals. Samantha felt tears in her eyes as she relayed the news to the newly freed prisoners. You hear that, Zixlaff? Earth isn't your harvesting ground. It's fighting back. The alien commander's image distorted, rage twisting its features. This changes nothing. Our fleet will reduce your world to ash. I wouldn't count on that, came another voice. Marcus speaking through his neural link with Titan. We've taken control of your ships in orbit. Turns out they respond pretty well to enhanced primate pilots. Your invasion fleet is now Earth's defense force. Zixlaff's hologram vanished, but the chamber shook as explosions rocked the base. The alien leader was initiating some kind of self-destruct sequence. Time to go, Samantha shouted. Everyone to the hangar base. We're going home. What followed was a desperate race against time. Enhanced animals helped guide the weakened prisoners through the collapsing base. Kodiak and other large creatures carried those too weak to walk. Ajax led the way, his enhanced senses navigating them through the chaos. They reached the hangars to find a fleet of transport ships waiting. As they loaded the prisoners, a squad of alien soldiers made a last desperate attack. Samantha found herself cut off from the others, facing down 3 alien warriors. But she wasn't alone. With a snarl, Ajax leaped into the fray. Human and dog moved as one, covering each other's weaknesses, amplifying each other's strengths. In moments, the aliens lay defeated. As the last transport prepared to launch, Samantha looked back at the crumbling moon base. It represented the end of an era, the day humanity proved it would not go quietly into the night. The journey back to Earth was tense but jubilant. As they entered the atmosphere, Samantha gasped. The planet below was transforming before their eyes. The Amazon terraforming engine had triggered a cascade effect. Deserts bloomed, polluted skies cleared, and damaged ecosystems regenerated at an incredible pace. They landed to a hero's welcome. Crowds cheered as the freed prisoners disembarked. Enhanced animals stood proudly alongside their human companions, finally recognized as equal partners in Earth's defense. In the days that followed, the last pockets of alien resistance were rooted out. The captured hegemony ships were studied, their technology adapted to heal the wounds left by the invasion. But the greatest change was in humanity itself. The bond between humans and animals, strengthened by shared struggle and sacrifice, had become the foundation of a new society. As they looked to the stars, knowing other threats might one day come, the people of Earth stood united, not as masters and beasts, but as fellow sentients, equal in their commitment to their shared home. Samantha stood on a hilltop, watching the sun set on this new world. Ajax sat beside her, his tail wagging contentedly. "We did it, boy," she said, scratching behind his ears. "We saved our home." Ajax looked up at her, his eyes full of intelligence and love. "No," he barked softly. "We saved our future." As the first stars appeared in the darkening sky, Samantha smiled. Whatever challenges awaited them out there in the cosmos, Earth would face them as one. Humanity and animals, bound together in a partnership that had already overcome impossible odds. The future, with all its uncertainty, had never looked brighter. A new era dawns. 5 years had passed since the defeat of the alien invasion. Earth had undergone a transformation that would have seemed impossible before the war. The scars of battle were healing, both on the planet's surface and in the hearts of its inhabitants. Dr. Samantha Chen stood on the balcony of the newly constructed Interspecies Cooperation Center in what was once Central Park. The gleaming building, a fusion of human architecture and alien technology, stood as a symbol of Earth's rebirth. Ajax, ever loyal, sat beside her, his cybernetic implants now sleeker and more advanced. "Hard to believe how far we've come," Samantha mused, gazing out at the city. New York had been rebuilt, but it was a far cry from its pre-invasion self. Vertical gardens climbed up skyscrapers, and vehicles powered by clean energy hummed quietly through the streets. In the distance, she could see enhanced eagles soaring between buildings, now an integral part of the city's messaging and security system. Ajax's tail wagged in agreement. "Long journey. Not over yet." Samantha nodded, scratching behind his ears. The neural link they shared had deepened over the years, allowing for more complex communication. "You're right, boy. We've got a big day ahead of us." They made their way to the main auditorium, where representatives from around the world, both human and animal, had gathered. Today marked the inauguration of the Earth Defense Force, a global initiative to protect the planet from future threats. As Samantha took the stage, she saw familiar faces in the crowd. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, now head of the Interspecies Technology Division, sat next to Whiskers, the enhanced Maine Coon who had become a symbol of feline contribution to the war effort. Marcus Rivera and Titan were there too, their bond having grown into a partnership that bridged the gap between human and primate communities. 5 years ago, Samantha began, her voice carrying across the hushed auditorium. "We faced an enemy that threatened not just our lives, but our very existence as free beings. We prevailed not through superior technology or overwhelming force, but through unity." She gestured to the diverse audience before her. Humans and animals, standing together as equals, proved to be a force that even an intergalactic empire couldn't overcome. Today, we take the next step in our journey. A holographic display flickered to life behind her, showing a massive space station orbiting Earth. "The Harmony Station," Samantha announced. "Built from repurposed alien technology and human ingenuity, it will serve as our first line of defense against any future threats from beyond our world." The audience murmured in appreciation. The station was a marvel, combining the best of Earth's newfound technological prowess with the natural abilities of their enhanced animal partners. "But the Harmony Station is more than just a defensive platform," Samantha continued. "It's a beacon to the stars, a message to any other civilizations out there that Earth is ready to take its place in the galactic community, not as conquerors or the conquered, but as equals." As she spoke, another image appeared, a sleek spacecraft unlike anything seen before. "And this is how we'll deliver that message. The exploration vessel Unity will be Earth's first faster-than-light capable ship. Its mission: to seek out other civilizations, to learn, to share, and, if necessary, to defend. The crowd erupted in cheers. It was a moment many had dreamed of but few had thought possible in their lifetimes. Humanity, along with their animal partners, was about to take its first steps into the cosmic ocean. As the applause died down, Samantha's expression grew more serious. But as we look to the stars, we must not forget the lessons we've learned. Our strength lies not in domination, but in cooperation. Not in uniformity, but in diversity. She knelt down, placing a hand on Ajax's head. The bond we forge with our animal companions is not one of master and pet, but of equal partners. It is this bond that saw us through our darkest hour, and it is this bond that will light our way forward. Ajax's tail wagged as he addressed the crowd, his words translated for those without neural links. Humans and animals, different but same. Protect Earth together. Explore stars together. The simple yet profound statement brought another round of applause. As the ceremony concluded, Samantha found herself surrounded by well-wishers and reporters. But her attention was drawn to a small group entering the auditorium. Zoe, now a leading xenobiologist, was guiding a delegation of aliens, not the hegemony invaders, but representatives from other worlds who had heard of Earth's victory and sought diplomatic relations. "Dr. Chen," Zoe called out, excitement in her voice, "allow me to introduce Ambassador Calix of the Galactic Confederation. They're very interested in learning about our interspecies cooperation model." As Samantha engaged with the alien diplomats, she marveled at how far they'd come. From fighting for survival to hosting intergalactic delegations in just 5 years, the conversation flowed easily, with enhanced animals joining in, their perspectives adding depth and nuance that impressed the alien visitors. Later that evening, as the celebrations wound down, Samantha found herself back on the balcony. Ajax sat beside her, both of them gazing up at the stars. The Harmony Station was visible, a bright point of light moving across the night sky. "What do you think we'll find out there, Ajax?" Samantha asked, her mind on the upcoming Unity mission. The German shepherd was quiet for a moment, his enhanced mind contemplating the vastness of space. New friends, new challenges, but always home here. Samantha smiled, feeling a warmth in her chest. "You're right, as always. No matter how far we go, Earth will always be our home. And we'll always have each other." As if to emphasize the point, a chorus of howls rose from the city below. Enhanced wolves, now an integral part of urban wildlife management, were singing to the moon. Soon, other animals joined in. The calls of enhanced birds, the rumbles of augmented big cats, even the deep resonant tones of cetaceans carrying from the nearby harbor. It was the song of a planet united, of a civilization ready to take its place among the stars. As Samantha and Ajax added their voices to the chorus, she felt a profound sense of hope. The invasion had brought unimaginable hardship, but it had also given them a gift: the recognition that the truest strength comes not from technology or physical power, but from the bonds we forge with one another. Whatever awaited them in the vast expanse of space, Earth would face it as one. Humans and animals, bound together by loyalty, love, and a shared destiny among the stars. The next great adventure was just beginning, and they would meet it together, as they had every challenge before. The song of Earth rose into the night, a melody of hope and unity carried on the cosmic winds, a promise of a future limited only by the bounds of their shared imagination.